You're listening to the Soju Sessions, episode 33 on the Soju Talk Nation podcast. I'm your host, Ara, and on today's episode, we flip hosting duties and I interview Crispy on his time at the 88 Rising Head in the Clouds Festival, celebrating Asian artists and Crispy's festival stories. Coming up, my chat with Crispy on the Soju Sessions. Joining Soju Sessions, returning from 88 Rising's Head in the Clouds Music Festival, hanging out with Jenny, CL, DPR, Siori, and Jay. Crispy.
Yo, hello. Bum, 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 bum. Thanks for having me.
Yay.
All right, so a little bit different start this week than typically that we do. We're flipping it. So I returned from the Head in the Clouds Music Festival, and Ara was so engaged and involved that she had a million questions for me. So I said, you know what? You're hosting this week. You're asking all the questions. You're guiding the ship, and that is exactly what we will be doing. Just a quick recap. The Head in the Clouds 2021 festival happened this past weekend, November 6th through 7th in Los Angeles, in Pasadena, at the Rose Bowl. It used the festival grounds, and it was a music festival and a culture festival and a food festival, and all of those fun things. It was an amazing time. Yeah, there was probably like a million videos posted like everywhere. If you saw them, you had a little glimpse into the world. But I would say you kind of had to be there to kind of get it all, you know. All right, but let me flip it back to Ara. Ara, hi. Yeah. You have any questions for me?
Yes. So, what was your overall feel? How does it feel to be with so many people, first of all, after like the pandemic? I think this was like your first time, like with, I think there were 30,000 people there. So, how does that feel?
Yeah. It was kind of wild because I think everyone was adjusting to being around other people again. I think there was a lot of awkward shuffling, a lot of social distancing, and then not social distancing. And then, being at a festival, at a music event, I think this was like the first time for a lot of people returning, right? And then also
Mm-hmm.
so it was all ages. And I also got the sense that there were a lot of first time people there. So you had a mix of teenagers at their first music festival, and then mid-20s to older kids to 90-year-olds like me coming back to it, to kind of adjusting back to socializing with other people. And then you had the people working there who were just like, all right, I don't know like how quickly we need to move everyone, but we do need to check some things. So it was a jumble the first day, I would say that. But I
Mm-hmm.
would say the second day everyone got pretty acclimated. They got
Mm-hmm.
adjusted, and it 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 turned out like a music festival all over again. I would say this is far more relaxed and chill than any other, than like a rave. EDC happened
Mm-hmm.
maybe like a month ago, 2 months ago. That was a straight up rave. So if you know EDC, if you know what it looks like, that's not what this was. This was a very chill and relaxed event,
Mm-hmm.
and it was nice to be
Especially like
there.
considering the lineup, I wasn't expecting a rave because most of these people are not like they don't do that type of songs. But yeah, that must have been fun. And then oh, I had another question, but I completely forgot. Oh gosh. Anyways, we can uh, continue with the food. What was your favorite?
Yeah. So there was a lot of food vendors. We tried to get into
Mm-hmm.
line for a lot of them, but for the most part, the lines were anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes to get food. Because I guess
Really?
people decided
Yeah.
to do other things besides watch music, which is kind of cool. Um, we
Mm-hmm.
we hit up Wong Fu's Boba Shop, um, Bopo Mofo Cafe. It's a mouthful. To say. I don't know why they named it that, but if you see it, you see it. You know what it looks like. We got there,
Mm-hmm.
and we got that was the first thing we did both days, and they were giving out sunglasses to the first 200 each
Mm-hmm.
day. We didn't know that. That was kind of cool. So I have sunglasses from them. We got
Oh,
boba.
that's cool.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we wore them like true festival hipsters, and they made
Amazing.
us look super cool. So we got boba. They sold out of the blueberry compote boba, the super like fancy hipster one, the first day, but we finally got it the second day, and there's a reason why it sold out. There's dried ice in it, and it bubbles, and it floats. It
Oh, I
does
think I saw it on your story.
Yeah, it does its thing. It's all smoky,
Mm-hmm.
but it tastes really good. The boba's really good, and then they also
Okay.
had tater tots. We ordered it was like a spicy beef style tater tots with tofu.
Oh,
Yeah, it was dope. So that was like the
that's
highlight
cool.
of the things that we ate, just because it was quite
Mm-hmm.
difficult to get food otherwise. But yeah,
Really? Did you starve? You didn't starve, right?
I didn't starve. I consumed other things.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Uh,
No, I saw like a bunch of TikToks about like the food festivals, like they gave recommendations. So that was interesting. But I'm glad you enjoyed. Uh oh yeah, so I was gonna ask, I know the festival gave out light sticks, kinda light sticks. Did you get one?
I did not. It was quite a challenge to find who was giving out what. I think primarily they gave out light sticks to the people near the front of the stage, within like the first like 1/4 of like the arena
Mm-hmm.
area. But I didn't see people walking around with it. That was pretty fun. We are looking for
Mm-hmm.
it, but I think near the end of the day, both days, we were kind of just like, we want to be in the back and see everything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
After and we So on the first day we were very hyped and we wanted to get all the way up in
Mm-hmm.
front of the stage. We got pretty close. So for DPR, we got into the crowd about an hour to 2 hour and a half before he came on, and we are slowly
Mm-hmm.
inching and inching and inching our way forward. The closest we got was maybe about 10 people away from the rail. So,
Okay.
and that was for CL. So by the time CL got on, we were like about 10 people away, which is pretty close. But man, if you're in that crowd, it's almost as if there was no pandemic. Because
Yeah,
there was
yeah.
either people you're like either shoulder to shoulder next to another person, or people didn't have masks on, or it was just like, all right, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily everyone was pretty chill, and we kind of bonded standing next to each other for 3.5 hours. But yeah, I would say like that's kind of the challenge in getting that light stick, is because I think they only gave it out to the people kind of in the front of the stage area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. No, that's amazing. So we can move into what your favorite performers were on both days. And yeah, let's see. Let's hear.
All
Here's
right.
tea.
All right. So I have to give a big shout out to the opener on Saturday. I did not know this group. It's
Mm-hmm.
Atarashi Gakko. They're a Japanese
Yes, yeah.
girl band. They went super hard. Oh my
Oh,
god.
they did, right? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
That was probably the one of the most surprising ways to start and open the experience.
Mm-hmm.
Just because
Yeah.
they had all the energy. They I felt very anime. I know. I
Mm-hmm.
felt like I was watching a rock anime, but they were killing it. And then I didn't know that they did that song with Warren Hugh, Freaks, and he came on stage to perform it with them. It kind of did feel like a lot of the 88 Rising artists were just hanging out the entire weekend. So Warren was there,
Mm-hmm.
and they popped off, and that was kind of the start of like the build up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Favorite artists, favorite performances. All right, so I'll kind of lump these two together because it was
Mm-hmm.
wild. So DPR, you had Live and Ian.
Mm-hmm.
The crowd that I was with knew DPR, so they were singing along to all of their songs.
Yeah.
They were simping. The simping was hard for Ian and
Yes.
Live. I felt like there was just so many like pregnant people afterwards. and people just didn't know what to
I
do.
can imagine.
Very
Imagine.
very handsome human being. That Ian, he had a wardrobe change halfway through,
Oh yeah.
and my section was very vocally requesting that he take off his shirt. So
Yes.
yeah, he played all the hits. I was hoping CL would pop in for one of the songs,
Mhm.
but she didn't, and it flipped when she came on stage. She came on
Mhm.
stage at 7 p.m. on Saturday, and that's when things got dark. That's when
Yeah.
the stage lights up, the LEDs, the lasers pop
Mhm.
off, and she was everything. She absolutely killed it. She played all of her solo songs from the mid 2010s. You got some
Mhm.
BGZs. You got some Hello Bitches. Got some
Mhm.
Lifted, her English song.
Yeah.
And then she played about half of the tracks off her album. And
Yes.
yeah, she even played Gone or Done. Done. That's the one from kind of that mixtape project thing that she did after she left YG, into all of her songs. And then she brought on DPR to perform with them. And the chemistry was palpable. Let's just say
Oh, it
that.
was. It was. I saw the live stream. It was very, very noticeable. She was all giggling and happy, and I was just like, "What is this?"
Yeah, it was a little
Um,
too real.
yeah, a little way too real.
Yeah, but
Um, mhm. Also, she performed 1001, or what is it called? That song. I wasn't expecting her to perform that because I thought it was like a BY and G Dragon like collab thing, but she
yeah,
performed it.
yeah. I know what song you're talking about. I recognized
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
I was a little taken aback. I was like, oh, she's playing this song.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. It was. Mhm.
but I think that just goes to kind of the strength of her track list, where she knows like which songs will hit like the OG like K-pop fans, like her
Mhm.
fans, but also like a good mix of like a hype song. Because I think the
Yeah,
entire
very.
set list, if you didn't know her music, it didn't matter because all of her songs felt very timeless in that moment. Which is kind of cool because considering like how quickly K-pop and just music moves, we're so into it that we listen and follow K-pop on a daily basis, and then trends move, sounds age, but then it's when you see it live, and you kind of get a time capsule of what was happening in that moment brought to present day. That for me, like it was a different appreciation that I've had with music that I don't think I've had in like 3 years. Two being
Mhm.
the pandemic, and then one being like seeing a set list of songs that are just like from the past, and you're just like, these songs still hold up. They're
Mhm.
freaking great. And
And
then
they still hit like the same way that they
yeah,
used to.
and I think it's because it's live, right? It's because you see the person
Mhm.
performing with all their passion and heart, and you get. I know it sounds really cheesy, but you do get their energy.
Mhm.
She was in this
Yeah, she looked very passionate.
big puffy jacket the entire time. She was sweating up a storm. She didn't care. She went super hard. Her
She did. Yeah.
her performance was absolutely just yeah. She killed it. God.
Yeah.
Um.
After CL, it was. Who was it?
Oh, so after
Nick.
CL
No.
was the rave.
Yes.
Illenium came on.
Yeah.
We made a very conscious choice to leave that stage for Illenium because I'm not a rave kid anymore. I know what it
Mhm.
looks like. I know what it's gonna sound like and feel like. So as we were leaving, you do the shuffle, right? Where I'm like
Mhm.
10 people away from the rail, but then I gotta leave. But then people want to get up. So you do the awkward, like, I gotta get here, and then you gotta get here. But then we formed like a train to get out. And it was just like, oh man, everyone is like so organized and like, having each other's back. I was like, all right, this is kind of nice, but we just shuffled until we finally got out. And
Mhm.
then as we were leaving, we saw people coming to the stage for Illenium, and they were decked out in rave stuff. You're not supposed to have light sticks or like um, the what's it called? Like the rave attire, the rave gear, all the lights, all the strobes. People brought
No
them.
idea.
People brought them
Oh,
in.
okay.
And I was just like,
Okay. Well,
cool. All right, you're coming
yeah.
here. I'm leaving. And that kind of leads me to the Japanese breakfast. So Japanese breakfast happened at 9:05. So we had about an
Hmm.
hour, over an hour break between CL and Japanese breakfast, and that was a time where we just wanted to sit down. And thankfully, because it was a festival, there's just benches everywhere. And I was just like, this is cool. I'm just gonna find a bench and sit down. I got another drink. I got the 88 Rising. It's called the 88 Rising Head in the Clouds drink. I think it's like yuzu and whiskey. It felt very like lemon soda ish with some whiskey. It was great. It was great. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't imagine how much you drank throughout the entire day, 2 days, but
Surprisingly,
lit.
not as much because I wanted to stay coherent. I wanted to enjoy it. I wanted to remember it,
Yeah.
and I didn't want to be
Hmm.
too sloppy. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. But speaking
Also,
of
drinks are very expensive.
oh, stupid expensive. I think that was also the main reason why I didn't drink that much. It's because a double was $24, and
It
it's it was a lot.
adds up. It
Yeah,
adds up. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. What were you gonna say?
Oh yeah. Japanese breakfast
Yes.
was what we got to at 9:05 on Saturday. That was a magical experience. She, if you don't know who Japanese breakfast is, it's Michelle Zauner's band. Um, She is Korean American. Her music is very indie, electronic, like modern, very Western. This is not like Asian. This is not like prototypically Asian music, right? But I don't see with 88 Rising in this festival specifically. Um, yes, they bring in artists from other parts of the world with Japanese artists, K-pop artists, Korean artists, K-pop adjacent artists. But at no point did I ever feel like any genre was um, that there was any distinction between genres, like so much where it's like, oh, this is one type of genre, right? It felt just more of a celebration of Asian culture, an Asian artist. So Japanese breakfast, she
Hmm.
came on stage, she
Yeah.
performed all the bangers, and I don't really know how else to describe it aside from uh, it was very dreamlike. She
Hmm.
played all of the songs that made you feel things. If you know her story, if you've read her book, Crying in H Mart, I've mentioned this book like a million times. All of her songs have a type of meaning towards her history and what it meant growing up Korean American in Portland, Oregon. In Oregon, and losing her mother in the 2010s and what that really meant for her identity and acclimating to society and culture. With all that said, she killed it. Her dress was amazing.
Hmm.
Um, because it overlapped with Millennium, the crowd was much smaller. I got really close to the stage, and I was so happy. And there wasn't that many people, so I had like space. Um,
Hmm.
Zondi pointed out that there was a guy screaming, "I love you, Michelle." I was standing next to that guy the entire time. He screamed it like 7 times, and then he looked over, and then we just like kept dancing. And I was like, "Yeah,
Oh,
um,
I feel the same way.
yeah." Kind of a, I don't even know how to put this, but I'm the kind of person at raves, music festivals, places. I'm really obnoxious. When I move and dance and I'm animated and I get people hyped around me. Yeah, I don't like to stand just still. I like to vibe and
Hmm.
appreciate. So I think other people took notice. Yeah, that set
That's
was wild.
amazing. Hmm. Oh, I also wanted to ask, were you at Little Cherry's stage
Oh
or?
yes, so we got back for Little Cherry. I
Hmm.
went to get drinks, and then we got back for Little Cherry. So the field, it's kind of like a golf course, where
Hmm.
there's like
And you said that there's two stages, right? So
there,
then you had to like circulate between the two stages.
yeah, the two stages. Just imagine like a really long football field. It's not exactly a
Hmm.
football field because things are like divided and stuff, but one stage on one end of the football field and then the other on the other, like far enough where there
Okay.
isn't too much sound bleed. But
Hmm.
with Little Cherry, we found a hill underneath a tree, and we sat there and we got a really nice angle, and that was kind of our spot for performances if we just wanted to be in the back for the weekend, because it was elevated enough where we could actually sit down and see the stage still and see how it went down. We only saw the last 20 minutes of the performance, but they were pretty hype. I think they were pretty hard. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw like Little Cherry had like a lot of like mic issues, so it could have been more hyped. At least from the live stream, that's what it looked like. But she still like killed it nonetheless. I was just very happy that both of them did really well. Yeah.
Yeah. If you didn't see the video of Jenny at Head in the Clouds backstage on the left, she was there for Little Cherry's performance. I recognized the song that was playing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so do you want to talk about any other day one artists?
Yeah, let's finish off with Brian. So with Brian, he played all of his hits. I think the standout song was Edamame. So he brought out dancers in Edamame costumes. That was hype. And then he did a lot of storytelling on stage. He talked about just the pandemic and, feeling a type of way, being isolated, doing music during that time, writing songs, and saying how this is the first time he was on stage in like 2.5 years, 2 years or so. And it really like gave perspective with the fact that, we've been separated from people for so long. Or we've only been on the internet, and like that's our primary like way of socializing or interacting with other people. And it's just really nice to like interface with a real human being, whether that's people that you meet at the festival or people on stage who talk to you in real life. It's happening in real time. I don't know. I think there's just there's a human connection there that's been missing that has really made me grateful for other human beings. We joke around a lot that people can suck, but I think people can suck only because, they're in a type of way as well. And I think I have to kind of remember that, we're not always like this, that we're like this because of other circumstances that aren't so visible. And I think a celebration, whether that was with music, whether that was with Asian artists, or just with people, Brian encapsulated that really well with a lot of the things he said throughout the set. And then his music was just like hard as hell.
Yeah. Honestly, I didn't know that he had a lot of like viral songs. So when I listened to I watched some of the videos, I was like, oh, I've listened to the song, but I just didn't know it was Brian. But yeah, I definitely need to check out his music more. He's a good artist.
Yeah, Brian's one of those artists where he popped off with Dat Sick. I think that was almost 10 years ago now. That was the song where you had rappers react to him in a fanny pack, and that like blew up on the internet. I don't think people realize just like how involved he is in like the music industry, because he knows everyone. Like he knows Kendrick, he knows Post Malone. He's like friends with everyone, and he himself carries himself just like a regular dude who just raps bars and is like his musical genius. And I think people, it doesn't get the same highlights because he's an unassuming Asian guy, but for the most part he is musically inclined as anyone, and it showed on stage. It shows with all the songs that he played.
That's amazing. Well, oh! I forgot to ask about Stephanie. Oh. Did you watch Stephanie, right?
All right. So that is one that I missed. I would say I saw 90% of everyone throughout the weekend. Stephanie is the one I missed because that was
okay.
Yeah, so we
that coincided with CL. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got into DPR around 3:45, and then we didn't leave until after CL.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah.
Well, I saw some of Stephanie on live stream, and she was amazing. I love you 3000. Amazing. Yeah. Very feels. Okay, I guess that's wrap up. Do you want to talk about anything else for day one?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, so let's move on to day two. And yeah, did you start right at 2 p.m. or you came a little bit later this time?
Yeah. Okay, so I can kind of go over the entry process
Hmm.
at this point.
Yeah.
No. So day one, it felt like it was really slow because I don't think people really understood the flow of how to get in. Which is
Hmm.
understandable. You know, it's like the first time, day one, first time people back in reality. But they, so to check your vaccine status, there's an app called Clear for events. So you
Hmm.
upload your information, you take a picture of your vaccine card, you take a picture of or you scan your QR code from the CDC, and then they upload all your information because I guess it's attached to a database, and then
Hmm.
you take a picture of yourself, just so it's like your ID, and then it's all done. So essentially,
Oh,
you show that to the front to the people checking, and they just let you in. They don't scan it, they don't do anything because I guess the app it's validated apparently by like the
okay.
government. So people didn't know how to do that the first day. The second day, people had the app ready, they had everything, and it went super smooth. We got there at 1 o'clock both days. The first day we got in at around 2:45, 2:30. The second day we got in at 2:10.
Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so it was just like
definitely
boom, got
faster.
in, super easy. Um,
Hmm.
for the second day, we got food right away. We ate, and then we saw Lana Lee on a bench, like
Hmm.
kind of away, but like at a perfect angle where it's like nothing was obstructing, and
Hmm.
people were just vibing and chilling. And we got to like really listen to what she was saying. So Lana Lee, a Canadian singer, she brought her band, super polite. She's just very grateful the entire time. I knew her
Very
song
Canadian of her.
very. She was so Canadian. It was wild. Like she was just so polite and just nice. Just like, oh, this is nice. And then at the end when she said she's Canadian, I was like, oh, that checks out. I know her songs like what they sound like. I just didn't know that they were her. And then I was like, oh, this is
Hmm.
this. I'm so happy. I'm here. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm so happy. And then after she played, we moved in to watch
Yeah.
Warren, and then we found a hill on the left side of the soundstage, which was like kind of the perfect angle, and then we just stayed there the entire time. So Warren Yu, if you don't know, he's 88 Rising's homie. He did a couple songs on the Shang-Chi soundtrack. He's friends with everyone now apparently, and he I don't know how to describe his music aside from like hip hop R&B, just a very soulful hip hop R&B
Hmm.
artist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah.
He also had like someone else on stage, right? I just couldn't figure out who that was, but
Chashu,
he was also good.
his
Yes.
producer, DJ,
Yes.
his buddy, Chashu's great.
He was great. Yeah, I liked both of them. They were amazing.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those where it's like you forget like the stage presence and like your hype man and like everyone has this idea of what like a stage performance is supposed to look like, but then because of the pandemic, no one's seen it in a long time,
Hmm.
and then you see it happen. It's like, oh yeah, like there's that natural chemistry you have with the people you share stage with, and then like how do you hype up the crowd? Warren, I feel like Warren and I have like very similar energy because he yelled a lot, and it's just like a lot of chaotic energy, and I'm just like I'm vibing, I'm feeling this.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Quick side note:
Yeah.
the daytime
Yes.
performances, even though it's like super bright, you don't get the LEDs, you don't get the lights and everything. I kind of still love them because you see everything, and if you get to see this, if you can see the stage, you can see like everything, and you can just see them perform. So
Hmm.
I'm kind of okay with like daytime performances. I know some people have like a thing where it's like they prefer nighttime performances. EDC takes place like
Hmm.
completely from like 10 p.m. to 4 in the morning, which is like I understand, but no,
Hmm.
I think I'm good with daytime stuff.
Hmm.
Uh,
And I think like with daytime, it's also like as long as for me, as long as it's not sunny, I'll be fine. Like cloudy weather is like perfect for daytime performances.
yeah, and also helps to see where you're going because
Hmm.
there at night people were stepping on people kind of thing, not in a bad way,
Oh
but just
no.
like people are
Yeah.
sitting. It's like you have to be super mindful, and I
Yeah.
saw a few
Hmm.
accidents throughout the weekend. All
Those are
right.
bound to
Are
happen.
we gonna get the feel good music now?
Let's talk about feel good music.
All right. Yeah. Yeah.
BB,
Yeah.
Yunmire.
You got a question for me? You got something to set me up?
Yeah, did you say hi to BB for me?
I did. And I had to tell her that, oh, this is for my friend that's a female. And then she was super excited because, that's what excites BB, apparently.
Yeah, yeah, very, apparently.
Uh,
She
uh,
was very provocative, and I was not expecting that from her. I was so surprised. I'm still shocked, and I'm just super, super proud because she's getting the recognition she deserves.
you know, I kind of thought about this afterwards, where
Hmm.
you had these Korean artists performing primarily in Korea most of their career, right?
Hmm.
And especially during the pandemic, where they can still perform but without fans. But they're in a culture that's a lot more has a lot more humility,
Conservative.
conservative,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And you know, we forget that when they come over to the United States, this is their time to wow the fuck out. And
Yeah.
BB did. She essentially was herself, the same character that she's always played in Korea, but now she's doing it in a place where people are also wow the fuck out. So
Yeah. And appreciate her. Yeah.
yeah, I would say so. I mean, one of the first things that really like pulled everyone's attention is she played the Dingo collaboration song.
Yeah.
What's that song called? Is it She Got
Cigarettes
It?
and condom.
Yeah, cigarettes
Yeah.
and condoms. She gets it. I don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's one of those
I got
titles,
it.
right?
I got it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And she brings out her bag, and I'm just like, "What's in that bag?"
Yeah.
And then you hear the music, na 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 na, and then she starts throwing condoms into the crowd. And it's like, "Yep, we're here, we're here." And I think she said something about having sex tonight, and I'm just like, "Yep, we
Oh, yeah.
good."
Oh, yeah. She,
Um,
at first, like, her opening was, "Are you ready to fall in love with me?" That was her opening. And I was like, yes, baby, I'm already in love with you.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that
speaking
was
to that too,
amazing.
there was a lot of people who didn't know BB, in my
Hmm.
area, and by the end of it, they're like, "Oh, she's cool." I'm just like, "Yeah, she's fucking
Yeah.
cool."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Very simple.
Yeah. Oh man. So that was like the first like big like eye catching moment, right, of the entire thing, where she's like
Hmm.
throwing out condoms and everything. If you knew her, like all of the way that she ad libbed and that she did her stage work and worked the crowd was very in line. But let's jump to the highlight of it all. The
The
highlight
highlight.
of the
Let's
weekend, no
the
less.
weekend.
So she played her
Yeah.
song "The Weekend." That's a collaboration with 88 Rising, and she about like a minute into the song, I had my camera on because I love that song. She jumps into the gap for the barrier, runs
Hmm.
up on a girl, gives her a kiss, and
Yep.
everyone freaking loses her mind on the lips. Just lip to lip
Yep. Like
connection.
like right on the
It's
lips.
very
And the girl.
sensual. And then so I didn't see this because they cut away from this. She actually does it again.
Mhm.
So there's another angle of another video, where she goes to another girl and she gives her a kiss. So she was just handing out kisses. That's cool.
Wait, I didn't know about this. Really?
Yeah,
She kissed another girl too?
yeah. Because they cut away from it on the big screen, but then I saw someone's video later, who was on the barrier. BB runs up on the other
I'm
side and then kisses another girl.
I
Yep.
I want to be there.
Yeah. All of this to say, it was about a 25 minute set. She played all of her
Hmm.
hits. She played a bunch of songs from her album. She did a lot of stage work. She took off her cardigan, jacket, whatever it
Hmm.
was. She
Yeah.
was just in a very comfortable situation. And if you knew her songs, it was everything you wanted a BB stage to be. I was hyped as fuck. I was dancing. At that point, I had finished two double whiskey gingers. Um, but and then the people around me who did know her were singing along, which is kind of amazing. And then the people who didn't were vibing.
Vibing.
They're
Yeah.
figuring it out, and then by the end of it, they fell in love. So yeah, PB, we love you. Come back. We're here for you.
Please. Mm-hmm.
And then quickly for the rest of Feel Good Music, Tiger JK, Yoonmire, Vizzy. I think they surprised everyone with just how fire their raps were. Um,
Really, for real.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think there was a noticeable buzz around me with people who didn't know their music. I didn't know all their songs either. So for me, it's like I can't sing along, but I know like what it sounds like, and people were just like, "Damn, like they rap freaking good." Tiger
Mm-hmm.
JK talked about their time being homeless, and I think that was a real connecting point for a lot of people in the crowd because you don't often like get like full stories of people, and they acknowledge that people may not know who they are, and that they tagged along with
Mm-hmm.
BB. They said that a few times, but because their label mates, it all worked out. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think
And I think they were like, were they the most hyped of the net or of the day? Because I think like everyone else was more like, on the R&B like sad kind of
yeah,
side.
yeah, I think they definitely had the most hype stage of the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, um, they were so hyped, and they were doing crowd work to the point where they ran out of time. And the last two songs had to be cut off like short. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of a bummer, but it was funny. Tiger JK was doing crowd work, and he was trying to get people to like sing along and stuff. And it was like
Mm-hmm.
near the end of the set, and Yunmire was, "We don't have time for that," and he goes, "I don't give a fuck."
Yeah, I remember. I remember watching that.
And she goes like, okay,
Oh.
okay. But then they did it, but then they got cut off. But it was cool because they got their thing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I would say things like this are ways to kind of establish the relationship with like the U.S. crowd, where it's like, yeah, but people may not know their music going into it, but now you want to know their music, you want to follow them, and it's far more accessible than people like want to give it like credit for.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah, exactly.
like yeah, they rapped in Korean half the time, so like it still sounds hype as hell, and it still works. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, um, yeah, that stage was wild. Yeah, any other questions for me?
Um, no, I don't think so. I think we can go on to Shiori Keshi, my loves, my heart.
Ooh.
Oh.
All right.
Oh.
All right. Let me do COD. So, Feel Good Music
Hmm.
ended late
Yeah, yeah.
because they just went over time, and I was like, oh, that's fine. So I got to COD almost like 5:20 at that point.
Hmm.
But as I was walking in, I heard her songs, um, and I got to the part of the set where it was like the mellow, like ballady stuff.
Hmm.
Oh man, that girl, she knows how to like whisk you away to like another
Really?
world. Like I mean, it's Head in the Clouds Festival, but I kind of did feel like I was like floating like above it all.
Hmm.
Transcendence kind of thing with her music, her voice. It felt like she was genuinely surprised that so many people were so hyped for her. Like she was stumbling on words like here and there, and she was just like, I love you too, I love you too, thank you, like trying to like crowd work between
Yeah.
songs, and I think she was just legitimately surprised. um
I think it's also because I'm pretty sure this was her like first performance after pandemic.
Damn.
'Cause she's pretty new. Like she like yeah, so I think this was like her first like concert like live thing. So
Damn, no, that's
mhm.
dope. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she doesn't have that many songs, but
Mhm. No, she doesn't.
yeah, she's just a super powerful performer, vocalist, and everything. I would say when Jay came on, that
Oh,
that was it. Yeah, Jay and Coyote kind of killed it. Yeah. Um,
I I love that song so much, and oh, it's just so good.
yeah.
But,
It's one of those where I don't think people in the moment understood what was happening until like later, and they kind of processed. It's like, wait, oh, they did a song together, because,
mhm.
and then we can kind of jump to this afterwards. Jay's stage, um, people kind of knew who he was at that point, and he was doing crowd work,
Yeah,
and then people kind of put the dots, connected the dots, like Coyote and Jay is like, oh, they collabed together.
yeah,
And I think
yeah.
like a festival like this really helps like draw the lines of like who's connected to what and how we're all like essentially listening to the same style
Mm-hmm.
of music between all the artists, right? To kind of wrap things up on
Mm-hmm.
Siori, just in a very, very emotionally powerful performance, everything from her ballad stuff to her more upbeat crowd work music, and I think the crowd work goes a long way in a lot of these kinds of
Mm-hmm.
performances, right? Where for me, like I know who she was, so it felt extra special for her to kind of essentially be talking to me. But for a lot of people who just met her, who just happened on her stage, I think it goes a long way for people to want to learn more about these artists.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
for
would
sure.
say Siori and Bibi. To me personally, in my opinion, I felt like pulled in a lot of fans who didn't know their music, but now are like, damn, these vocalists can kill it. So
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Both of them have such unique voices too, so it
yeah,
makes a difference.
yeah.
Um, let's move on to Keshi, Jay, Nikki. You can talk about anything. Um,
All right, let me hit Keshi real quick.
mhm.
You know, overlapped with Siori, so I didn't get to catch all of
Yeah,
his set.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I also went to get a drink at this point, so God, drinks are so expensive. But we found our hill spot for Keshi, and we were
Yeah.
just vibing. I don't remember his songs. I don't remember all of his songs, but I just remember he was probably like the most R&B vibe. Everyone was just like, not. I don't. Falling asleep is not the right way, but it's like essentially like if you wanted to close your eyes for this half an hour, this was the time to do it and just like feel the music.
Yeah.
I don't think he had any like super banger songs. It was just like
Mhm.
feel the mood, feel the feelings, feel the emotions, and I think his
Yeah.
stage was definitely that for the most part. Each
Yeah.
J Park. All right, so I said BB and Siori won the crowd for a lot of people who didn't know their music. Jay did this for the men's side, male representative, but I think to the point where he may have gotten the most new fans out of everyone. To kind of summarize his stage presence, he basically continued to say that you probably don't know who I am. You don't know
Oh
why I'm here. But I'm Jay Park from Los Angeles. I'm home. And it kind of felt like he was on Twitch stream, kind of just like being a clown. People had his enormous face, the Pogo face, um, and he went so hard the first two songs he couldn't breathe and he was just like keeled over, and then he was just like stream of consciousness the entire time. It's like, man, I'm so tired. Man, who made this set list? I made the set list. Oh man, I'm so tired, guys. Oh, I should have paced myself. Oh, who messed this up? And it's just like, damn, Jay, you so funny.
yeah. Yeah. It was. I think he just knew he was like such a people pleaser. Like it was just so nice. Oh.
Yeah,
And then Jay came on Keshi's stage, or Keshi came on Jay's stage. So that was nice because they have pillows together, and I really like that
yeah.
song.
Keshi came on. Siori came on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jay stage was
Amazing.
popping. Damn.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he had a bunch of guests on. He sang a couple notes of Zombie. That was
Oh.
that was kind of fire.
Oh.
Um, God, it was kind of crazy because he mentioned this. He goes, "Yeah, I'm probably the only person at the show who doesn't have songs on Spotify."
Oh yeah. Yeah. He mentioned that. I saw the clip, and then he was like, I'm Jay of day 6." And everyone was just like cheering him on, and I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
adorable.
and I went back to it the past few days. Yeah, all of the songs are on SoundCloud. I'm just like,
Hmm.
damn, like, and not that they're like bad quality, but they're like low quality like SoundCloud versions of
Yeah.
his songs. And then when you played it live, it's like, oh, I want an album. I want an Ege album,
Hmm.
you know. That was
Yeah.
a really memorable moment of just having him like be funny and making you feel kind of way. Yeah. Um, uh, the next performance we didn't get to because we just moved in for Nikki.
Hmm.
So Guap Dad 4000, unfortunately, was on the Double Happiness stage on the far side of things, so we didn't get to see them.
Mm-hmm.
But big shout out to them. I know KME is a big fan. But we readjusted ourselves, we recalibrated ourselves for Nikki. All right, so I got a story here for Nikki.
Oh,
All right,
let's
so
go.
before Nikki's stage, we were set to move and migrate. At a festival, people get excited and they consume things and they get happy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as I'm walking to throw something away, this gentleman, his name is Ken, says, "Hey, do you know where the closest trash can is?" And he clearly was inebriated. So I said, "It's over here. I'm walking over here. Let me walk with you." We walked together. It turns out he was drunk out of his head. He was just completely gone. He was swerving, he was slurring, but then he had lost his friends. So for the
Oh
first 10
no.
minutes of the Nikki stage, I was accompanying him trying to find his friends. We were on the far left of the stage, so kind of almost like the backstage area, which is kind of cool because nobody was there. You can't really see the stage from there, but you can get super close. It's just the
Mm-hmm.
angle's bad. You can't see the big screens. But I was like, "Here, let me text your friends for you." So I texted his friends on his phone, and it was a whole thing. Ken, I hope you've made it back safely, because about 5-10 minutes into the set, he goes, "I'm just gonna go." I'm like, "You sure?" He's like, "Yeah." So he left, and hopefully he found his friends. But he was kind of all over the place. I had to pull him back a couple times because he was dancing, uh, uncoordinatedly. It wasn't a very big crowd, but there were a lot of people around. So I was like, "Oh, you're
Mm-hmm.
bumping into people, dude."
Yeah.
But we got him. We got him at least to a wide open space to at least like do his thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then for Nikki, we found a spot kind of in the back, on a hill, like a freaking hills, man. I'm telling you, if you go to a music festival, look for the hill because you can see everything, even from a distance. And we were there for all the songs. I have been a Nikki fan since 2017, 18.
Mm-hmm.
When was Head in the Clouds like the first one? Whenever that was, when she was doing her mixtape stuff, I was a fan.
Okay.
That's when I was a fan. So I knew all of her like her older songs, right? A lot of her new stuff is like very well produced. It's like stuff that
Mm-hmm.
she puts out for like, freaking Shang-Chi, right? But I mean, she played all of her old hits that she did in her college studio. So a lot of her story is she is from Indonesia, and then she came to the United States for school, so somewhere in the mid in the South. I forget where it was exactly. I
Mm-hmm.
think Tennessee. I could be wrong, but somewhere in that area. But then a lot of these songs, her first songs, she just did on GarageBand on her MacBook, and she was just messing with it, and she played them, and it was a moment, man. It's just like it was crazy because she mentioned this a couple times on the stream. Like, there's 30,000 people here, and they're all here to see me sing my songs. And if you think about like how those songs were produced back in the day, it's like, damn, people are singing your songs that you made in your college dorm. That's dope.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was singing,
Nostalgia.
I was going for it. Yeah, it's just pretty cool that she's kind of made it so big. Freaking, she played the
Mm-hmm.
song from Shang-Chi. It's like, come on, man. Like I it's a beautiful moment to kind of see like how far
Yeah.
people can get, in music. Yeah. Anything else you want to know?
Who did you go with? I forgot to ask at the beginning,
Oh yeah,
so let me
sister,
ask
family.
now. Yes, yes.
And I met up with some people there, friends. It was a super
Mm-hmm.
low key festival. This is not my rave days. This is not me going with like 20 friends. Um, this is me like, oh, I was like, I specifically wanted to keep it small and like
Mm-hmm.
navigate and maneuver how I wanted to like enjoy the
Yeah,
festival because it's a
yeah,
festival.
exactly.
I've been
And you
out,
can enjoy yourself, right? Yeah.
yeah, I've been to Outside Lands a couple times. I like Outside Lands just fine. Only thing is, it's in San Francisco in the fall, which means it's cloudy and foggy and cold. It was cold here at night, but during the day it was pretty sunny and warm, so it was a nice balance.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Okay.
festival wasn't so big that I couldn't see everything, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I specifically wanted to just enjoy this kind of very low key, and I did. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. And what would you say? So I know like you're familiar with most artists, but aside from the ones that you're most familiar with, which one did you become a new fan of or like are looking into for their music?
J, 10,000% J, because I know Day Six.
Okay.
I know Day Six.
Yeah.
I know Zombie. Everyone knows Zombie. Now I want to
Hmm.
listen to all of Day Six.
Yes.
I
Yes.
know Jay from his show with Eric Nam. Him just popping on.
No, no, with Alexa. You
Uh,
know Jay from Day Six with Alexa.
yes. Sorry, I'm getting my shows mixed up. But yes, so when he pops on
No, 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 that's
occasionally,
fine. Yeah.
yeah, when he pops on occasionally
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
the die people. So yeah, I know
Hmm.
what he's like. But I'm like, oh, this kid is so funny. I like this kid so much.
He's yeah. He's
Yeah.
on the same like chaotic level as Alexa because if you watch like some of their like how did I get here videos, you'll see both of them are just as chaotic.
Yeah.
It's just yeah.
I freaking yeah, I love it. It I shouldn't be surprised, but now I think about it, I should have like anticipated this. The fact that the circle of
Hmm.
like Asian Americans are so well connected with like 88 Rising and kind of the LA music scene, because Alexa kind of fits in
Hmm.
perfectly with
Yeah.
everyone there.
Yeah.
So Eric was
I
there.
think I'm pretty sure. Yeah, yeah, I saw Eric. And
Yeah,
so was this other guy. Kevin Wu, I think. Because Jay, Kevin, and Eric have a photo together,
yeah,
so they
yeah,
posted that. Yeah.
yeah. They were at the VIP section, which if you bought a VIP pass, you could have gone in. So they were out in the
Oh,
open. They weren't in the green room.
damn.
Yeah, because I saw the tent. I was like, I know where that's at. Yeah, it's funny. Like all these celebrities taking photos of places. It's like I know exactly where that is.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Jenny's photos. Like I know exactly where that is because the green room side. When we got there, they had opened it because they were like moving stuff in to the trailers. So
Hmm.
it's like I saw what it looks like, and they closed it up again. So when Jenny took photos there, it's like
Hmm.
I know that side of the stage. Come on, come
Hmm.
on.
Yeah. I was also going to ask, do you think people bought like just the 2 day passes, or do you think people specifically bought like 1 day because they wanted to see like a specific artist?
I think
Or was that wasn't an option?
I don't remember if it was an option, but I will say it felt like a lot of people were there the entire weekend.
Hmm.
I would say
Yeah.
very consistently people were there. Part of it is this is the first music festival we've had in years, literally 2 years, and I think people just wanted to experience and be around other people, be around live music again, which is kind of amazing.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah. Hmm.
yeah, I think that was like the big part, the big reason why people were
Yeah.
just there. Yeah, it's just so nice to be around other human beings again and actually like respond
Yeah.
to someone. Yeah, I talked about this a little bit earlier, but during the crowd area for like CL and stuff, when we're all like in it for like 3 hours, people bonded,
Hmm.
man. People were so nice to each other, and people were looking out. Um, they were handing out water bottles, the security, to the crowd throughout
Hmm.
the entire weekend to the front. And at first, it was like maybe like 10 bottles or so. People were just like more, more, more. People were getting kind of like in their feelings because they didn't get water. But then by the time CL performed, they were handing out like I don't know, probably a couple hundred bottles
Oh
because it
damn.
just kept coming. So people were just so nice about it. So like people just like I held out my hand and just like passed it back, passed it back, passed it back. And everyone
Hmm.
in our section was looking out for each other. And I think that's what I kind of miss about like social environments like that where you could be a dick, but it's just way easier to be a nice person
Yeah,
to
exactly.
a
And I mean, like,
stranger.
there's so many people. You're bound to see more nice people than you are to
Yeah,
see
because you're gonna
dicks.
be around
Yeah.
them for like at least the next 20, 30 minutes. You might as well get to know them. And I had so many like
Hmm.
random sporadic conversations with people and like laughs of like small random things. I know
Hmm.
Kami posted a video of some kid reading a book during Luna Lee's set.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I was in that section the day before, and then I saw people who were there looking at him. I was like, I know those people. But it was funny because like
yeah.
that, you make those connections with like random strangers, and I honestly feel
Hmm.
like people kind of just needed that, and it was nice. And
Yeah, yeah. I remember because 88 Rising retweeted that video too. So I'm sure everyone saw that video.
that was good. That was really funny.
Yeah, yeah. So many. I really enjoyed that. Like 88 Rising streamed this for free on Twitch, and it was a whole like experience. I know like it's definitely different than like being in person,
Yeah,
but at the same time, I really appreciate that they did this for other fans.
yeah, because they know we're still in a pandemic, and it goes a
Yeah,
long
yeah.
way for people who just can't make it locally for a number of reasons. And
Hmm.
88 Rising is a global music artist celebration touch point, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
And it's
And they know that they're going to gain so many new fans through this,
yeah,
and it's going to help them in the long term. So,
yeah,
yeah.
it's just a lot of goodwill, I'd say. And
Hmm.
the really cool thing about like all the artists that they showcased, it showed you a variety of music, but it never made you feel
Yeah.
like, oh, this is like one particular music I can't access. It's like, no, this is all like good stuff that you can listen to, and
Hmm.
you don't have to feel a kind of way about it, because I do feel like there's still kind of a stigma between specific genres of music. I'd say like, well, I can speak to this because we're K-pop fans. When I say K-pop,
Hmm.
people think like K-pop,
Yeah.
as opposed to just like,
Yeah.
no, it's like good music, just listen to it.
Yeah.
Or it's like 88 Rising, it's like, oh, it's just good music, listen to it. And I think Jay is a really good example of that, where it's I think people so getting into the event, people were talking about Jay or Ij, like however they wanted to
Hmm.
like think about it, and they're like, we don't know him, but people are saying to listen to him. And then I asked like, what do you know about him? It's like, oh, he's experimental K-pop. And it's like, oh, no, he's kind of like a singer. He's Korean American, but he did some things in Korea with like a K-pop band. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So I kind of like filled them in on the gaps, and then
Hmm.
obviously it shows on stage where it's just like, yeah, you can love it, like regardless of what it actually,
Hmm.
what you think it is, like the
Exactly.
preconceived notions of it. Whew.
Yeah.
Man. Well, let me wrap it up with Joji, because
Yes.
man, this guy is in his feelings so
Oh
much.
yeah. Oh yeah.
So if you don't know Joji, he is an artist from 88 Rising. He's one of the OGs. He's one of the very like featured musicians. All of his music videos are wild. Like
Oh yeah.
he's this very like abstract artist with the way like he like visualizes thoughts and feelings. All of his music is just like the saddest sad boy stuff. Um, the way I can describe it is it's lo-fi, but he's super musical. So like he can
Hmm.
like make a lo-fi song, distort his voice, but then like lyrically he talks about like the saddest like emotional like romantically destroyed things like anyone can go through, right? But then he flips like a lot of different like styles into like the production. Like I feel like he's very production centric with the way he composes music. And then on stage, a lot of stage work, he's talking to the crowd. He's not, I wouldn't say he's not singing, but he's talking. Like he can sing, and then he'll
Hmm.
sing a couple notes, and then he'll go into like his non-singing voice when he like sings certain lines. Or
Hmm.
that voice everyone has, or where like we think we're singing but we're not.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
He does
Yeah.
that. He did that a lot, but it was really kind of just to show his character and the fact that he didn't really give a f. Yeah,
Hmm.
he's just freaking hilarious. The last song he played was "Dancing in the Dark." It's a very well known song. If you probably
Hmm.
know it, if you don't know it,
Yeah.
um, and the standout moment was he leaves the stage because it's like his last song, and then he comes back for "Dancing in the Dark," and he goes, "Ha! You thought, you thought, bitch!"
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, he called us
Yeah.
bitches a lot throughout the entire performance.
Oh.
And then, the last, so he did two versions of it. He did like a super slow down like acoustic version, and then he did the actual album version. And then we got
Hmm.
into like the chorus. He's like, I don't want to dance, bitch. I don't want to dance. And then he got into dancing in the dark, and it just, yeah, I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
like really scattered just because Joji does that. He's like really freaking wild
Hmm.
and out energy, but yeah,
Hmm.
no. Yeah, Joji's fucking great. You guys should listen to him.
Hmm. Also, if you guys don't know Joji, he has done a song with Jackson Wang. So listen to that one. That's also a really good song. Um, yeah, the music video is very wild with, I want to
He's
say,
in a
octopuses or something.
lobster suit.
Yeah, a lobster,
They're
some things like
kaiju and they're
that.
fighting in a city.
Yeah. Hmm. It's like Transformers, yeah, or not Transformers. Sorry, Power Rangers.
Yeah,
That that type of
it's
music
very
video.
Joji energy. Um,
Hmm.
Jackson and Joji do good stuff together, man.
Yeah, they do. They
That
do.
their energy
I think
matches.
Jackson should have been at 88 Rising because he's done a lot, but I guess it's just because he's in China. He wasn't there.
I
But
thought he was gonna be
mhm.
there, but
Me too.
because they did have mystery guest spots that they didn't announce prior to it. But I guess it was just smaller groups that they filled in for those spots,
Hmm.
and it makes sense. I mean, visas, green cards, all that stuff. Green cards, not
Hmm.
green cards,
For sure.
visas, traveling.
Yeah, visas.
Green
Yeah.
card's something
Oh.
else. That is, yeah, but and then also COVID and everything, so it's more difficult. But yeah, no,
Hmm.
Jackson would be great. Hopefully we get him next year. Hopefully we get this sooner than November because November's a little cold.
Hmm.
Maybe October next year, maybe September. Yeah, sometime a little sooner in the year.
Maybe I can actually join this time instead of just watching it live streamed.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
well, that was me talking about like freaking the concert for an hour. Do you have any questions? I
Yeah.
feel like I talked this entire time. Do you have any things you want to know?
No. Well, like I mean, I think I lived through you. I lived through streams. I lived through TikTok videos. Nothing much. I guess just what was the highlight of your weekend other than like the performances or like something low key that you really really enjoyed.
Sitting on a lawn with music happening around you. It's a
Yes.
small thing, but
Hmm.
damn, we have not done this in so long. And I'm not even talking about just music festivals. Like a local community park doing like a music a Friday
Hmm.
evening music, right? That happens
Hmm.
like in a lot of communities, like anywhere, like suburbs, right? Like
Yeah.
I think it's happened a little bit throughout the summertime, but still people are fairly hesitant and wanting to like social distance and not like engage and interact with stuff like that.
Hmm.
But me, I just sat plop myself on a hill. I'm just like looking over. I'm just like, man, this is kind of nice. I think it's like those smaller
Yeah.
moments that like I appreciate that helps give perspective
Hmm.
on how I want to act around other people. Like I mean that in a very general sense, where it's you know, you you want to like interact with people in a way where you're in the moment, where you're not too caught up on the little things, and then you kind of appreciate what you do have. I know it's like super like
Hmm.
cheesy Disney Channel stuff, but um,
Yeah, I know.
well, it's all
But I think
because
everyone gets sentimental after
yeah,
like going.
because you don't really know what you don't have until you don't have it, and then you're like, damn,
Hmm.
I
For
want to
sure.
just like be around people, and even if being around people isn't your thing, just the idea of being in an open space where people can universally around you just be in a good mood. I think we've all missed that. You know,
Hmm.
like you don't have to talk to anyone. You can just like find your spot and like be cool and understand that everyone is also in the same good mood. So yeah.
I think that really highlights like how we want to do for at least like go to other festivals and have like other shows and stuff
Yeah.
in the future. So let's hope.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I hope it all comes back slowly. I hope people do their parts and get
Get
vaccinated.
vaccinated, please. Please.
Get immunized. It's a very specific word. Recently,
Mm-hmm.
we won't go into it, but vaccinated is specifically what we want people to hopefully get and do. But again, it's your choice, but also you have to understand there there are things that you want to do, things you can do when you're vaccinated, and it's kind of nice.
Yeah. Yep, for sure.
Yeah,
Well, I guess that's it. This is really enjoyed talking to you. Thank you
no problem,
for
dude.
letting me interview you. And I hope to join again soon, hopefully.
Yeah, dude. No, you're always welcome. All right, Ara. So you read the intro.
Yes.
Read the outro. Get us out of here.
Okay, thank you for listening to Soju Sessions on the Soju Talk Nation podcast feed. Subscribe on YouTube, follow on Spotify or your preferred podcast platform, and continue the conversation on the Soju Talk K-pop podcast Discord. For Crispy, this is Ara, and this has been Soju Sessions.